We're taking a deep dive into the world of Pi Network.
Pi Network, yeah.
You've sent over quite a collection of articles and research on this cryptocurrency.
Right.
And, well, frankly, I'm really eager to sort of dig into what makes this one so different.
Yeah.
And why it's causing such a stir online.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic for sure. And, you know, it's really interesting because unlike, let's say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, which require, you know, powerful computers for mining,
Right.
Pi Network actually lets users mine just using their smartphones.
Yeah.
So that accessibility, I think, is really what's attracting a lot of the attention.
For sure. That's a huge change, right? I mean, it's a total departure from how we traditionally think about cryptocurrency.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are naturally a ton of questions swirling around, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Particularly, I mean, about the value of Pi. And one thing that really jumped out at me from the research you sent over was this whole question of like, when and if you can actually trade these Pi coins.
Exactly. I mean, that's the big one, right? Because Pi Network is still in its pre-launch phase.
Right.
There's no official exchange where you can buy or sell Pi coins right now.
Yeah.
So that obviously makes it really difficult to pin down like what the actual value is.
Yeah.
And that, of course, fuels a lot of skepticism. But at the same time, that potential for disruption, you know,
Right.
that's what has so many people excited about it.
Right.
I mean, just imagine like a world where anyone with a smartphone can just become a cryptocurrency miner.
Right.
That's a powerful idea, you know?
Yeah, it really does challenge the existing system.
Absolutely.
And, you know, speaking of challenges, another theme that kept popping up in the research you sent was all this discussion around Pi Network's security and decentralization, right? Because it's a closed network right now, at least for the moment.
Right.
It's sparking a lot of debate about whether that even aligns with like the core principles of blockchain.
That's a really good point. And it's where things, I think, get really interesting because blockchain is often associated with, you know, transparency.
Of course.
And open source development.
Yeah.
Pi Network, in its current phase, operates under a more centralized model where the core team still has a lot of control, you know.
I see.
They're using something called the Stellar Consensus Protocol,
Okay.
which is different from, for example, the proof of work model that Bitcoin uses.
Okay, so how do you think this is all going to play out? Like,
Right.
what does this mean for the future of Pi Network?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
A lot really hinges on what happens after its official launch, right? Will it become more decentralized as they've said it will?
Right.
How will they address the very valid security concerns that people have? These are all key factors that are ultimately going to determine if Pi Network is going to succeed or not.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other big question is, will it gain any real value in the open market?
Right.
We just don't know yet.
So for our listeners out there, what can we take away from all this buzz around Pi? I think for me, it really underscores how the cryptocurrency landscape is constantly shifting.
Absolutely.
You know, there are constantly new ideas and new approaches emerging that are challenging the old ways of doing things.
For sure. And with that evolution comes a need for us to, you know, really be thinking critically about all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway for our listeners is to really encourage you to keep exploring this.
Yeah.
Keep researching. Pi Network's future is definitely still uncertain.
For sure.
But the questions it raises are, I think, hugely important for all of us. Questions about accessibility, security, the future of cryptocurrency. These are all things that we really need to be thinking about and grappling with.
Yeah.
What will the future of decentralized finance look like? Will mobile mining become the norm?
Fascinating questions.
It's really just the beginning of what I think is going to be a very interesting conversation.
I think so too. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with me.
My pleasure. Anytime.
And to everyone listening out there, keep those questions coming, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.
See you then.